The IKS Aquastar is a multifunctional aquarium computer that is capable of automatic monitoring and control of different water and lighting parameters both for freshwater and seawater. It has an array of functions which includes the measurement and control of pH, temperature, redox, conductivity, oxygen, and water level. Also, it can measure air pressure, simulate day and night, different lunar phase, current, interval timing, and save data log into a computer. The IKS Aquastar operates under the principle of switch hysteresis. In this tutorial, we will focus on the main functions of IKS Aquastar and specifically on manipulating pH levels for ocean acidification research. Let's start with the display and keys. The display is composed of 4 parts. The upper left is the level of menu that you are in this case, the main menu. Below is the sub-menu. On the upper right is the help index number, which you can refer in section 8 in the manual. Below it, if present, are left and right arrows. This means that there are several sub-menus that you can choose from. Below the display are 2 LEDs. The alarm lights up when you are in the programming mode or when a pre-programmed value limit has exceeded in control mode. The OK signals that the instrument is in operation, monitoring the aquarium according to the connected sensors, and carrying out the commands you have programmed. Below the LEDs are the buttons. The escape button is used to interrupt or cut off a submenu or an input. F1 and F2 are function buttons, and their functions depend on the menu, which will be shown later in the tutorial. The arrow buttons are used to navigate in the menu or inputting values. The Enter button is used to select or confirm your entry. Beside it, indicated by left arrow, enables you to make a correction if you will mistakenly press a wrong number key. On the sides labeled Sensors are the sockets for the measurement and control modules. 8 modules can be connected to the system in different combinations, and this can be used in different independent tanks. At the bottom labeled L1 to L4 are the sockets for the switch socket panels with 4 sockets each. This means that IKS Aquastar can control 16 sockets at the same time. Left to the L4 is the connection for the PC. Beside that is for the power supply. Now that you're familiar with the parts of IKS Aquastar, let's proceed to connecting the modules. Important reminder: turn off the equipment before connecting or disconnecting any module to avoid damage. Each measurement module comprises a sensor and its appropriate converter. These two are separate for pH, temperature, redox, and oxygen sensors. Water level and conductivity sensors are firmly connected to the converter. First, connect the converter to IKS and tighten the 2 screws. Then, connect the appropriate sensor to the converter. Do the same for the other sensor. Warning: always make sure that the connection between the sensors and the wire is not immersed in the water. Next, connect the switch socket panels to the bottom sockets L1 to L4. Sockets are numbered based on their connections to IKS. Numbers 1 to 4 are assigned on the sockets of L1, numbers 5 to 8 on L2, numbers 9 to 12 on L3, and numbers 13 to 16 on L4. To avoid confusion, label each socket with its appropriate number. Important reminder: always place the switch socket panel above the water line and away from any water source to avoid damage. There are 2 types of switch socket panel: non-variable and variable power outputs. Warning: under no circumstances that you connect a non-variable appliance to a variable switch socket panel. Also, never connect more than 1 appliance to a single socket. In this setup, use a non-variable switch socket panel. To acidify the water, connect the solenoid valve to the CO2 gas supply and the power supply to the switch socket panel. Make sure that the main valve of the CO2 supply tube is closed. Before you start using and manipulating the equipment, it is always advisable to have a reset to erase all programming and returns the system to its original condition. To do this, first unplug the Aquastar from the power supply. Then, Press and hold the F1 key. Reconnect the power supply keeping F1 key pressed. The following message will appear on the display. Press F1 key again and wait for a few seconds until the system has a successful reset. Once the equipment has been reset, the display will show the main menu. There are 6 options under the main menu, and you can navigate using the left and right arrow keys. Now, select the submenu System and set to the correct time and date. Time is in 24-hour format, while date is in day, month, year format. Then, set the acoustic alarm to On. In the programming level, set it to Professional. Lastly, go back to the main menu using the Escape button. In using the different sensors in your experiments, it is always important to calibrate them. In this video, we will show you how to calibrate the pH module. The menu for calibration will only be available when the pH module is connected to the Aquastar. Don't forget to connect the temperature module as well. In the main menu, select Calibrate and then pH sensor. Enter the temperature manually by selecting Input. Measure the temperature of the buffer and then input the value. Confirm with the Enter key. Warning: always rinse the sensors before and after immersing in the buffer to prevent contamination. Put the pH sensor into the buffer solution labeled 4 and then press Enter. Wait until the value 4 appears in the display. Then press Enter. Remove the sensor from the buffer and rinse it with distilled water and dry it with a tissue paper. Place the sensor into the buffer solution labeled 7. Press Enter key again and wait until the value 7 appears in the display. Confirm calibration by pressing Enter. Go back to the main menu by pressing Escape. In the main menu, select Set Measurement. Under this menu, find the option Display and press Enter. This determines the interval time between the information being shown on the display when programming is done and the equipment is in measurement and control mode. Once you've selected the interval time, press Enter and go back to Set Measurement. Now, navigate through the options and select Memory. You will need to input the interval time at which the values are stored, then press Enter to confirm. The next menu labeled Mem Capacity will show the space available. The IKS Aquastar can store up to 2,000 chains of measurements. If this limit is exceeded, old measurements will be overwritten by the new ones. Reminder: transfer the measurements when the storage is close to 0. Then, press Enter. The Erase memory wipes out all the measurements in the Aquastar. In the main menu level, select the menu Control. Now, select pH value. If you have connected several pH modules, you can press the arrow keys to select the desired module. Don't forget to make notes. Once a module is selected, you can allocate several control functions for one module. The number of processes indicated on the lower line, and the socket for controlling is indicated inside the parenthesis. If there are 2 dashed lines inside the parenthesis, the control process is not yet allocated to any socket. Then, press Enter and select Reduce pH. Select the option Tank and confirm with the Enter key. Enter the pH value for day and confirm with the Enter key. Do the same with the night. Then, set the upper and lower alarm values. Reminder: always press Enter to confirm your input. Now, allocate the function to the socket where you plugged the power supply of the solenoid valve. For example, you've plugged the solenoid valve to socket number 1, and the following will show on the display. Select this socket. Sockets with no control settings yet have the following shown beside the number. Lastly, confirm by pressing Enter. You can now allocate different control setting to other sockets using the same pH module or a different module connected to IKS Aquastar. Once everything is set, go back to the main menu level and select Run. The OK LED light should turn on. The display will show first the time and date. Depending on the interval time you've set, it will show next all the modules you have connected, 2 at a time. A minus symbol inside the parenthesis means that a downward control is active. A plus symbol means an upward control is active. An asterisk means that an alarm has been reached. The next that will be showed are the switch sockets. Asterisk indicates that the socket is active. A hyphen indicates the socket is deactivated. The number label of the hyphens for each panel on the display are labeled from left to right. This means that the leftmost hyphen in L1 is socket number 1 and the rightmost hyphen in L4 is socket number 16. And that was the tutorial for the IKS Aquastar used in ocean acidification research. If you have more questions on a certain function on the equipment, refer to the manual using the index number indicated on the upper right corner of the display. Important reminder: always check your setup daily for malfunctions. If there is a malfunction in the equipment, report to the lab technician or person in charge. For more video tutorials on the EMBRC equipment, click on the link provided.